and this is the start of Kit Size Sketchbook Art Creation 12 by 12 centimeter sketchbook. Not sponsored, even though I love it so much. There's any love with this size sketchbook. I can take it with me everywhere, constantly in a bag or a pocket of sorts, and I think it's just such a handy little size to have on you. And this is the start of it. So I always having the dates, contacts in it just in case I lose it. I like to do some studies, some observational sketches, testing new materials, just getting in the flow of a brand new sketchbook. I love to press some flowers as well, especially in when it was springtime, where it was colours everywhere. And currently being in February, it's nice to be re-reminded by all the lovely colours that seem to come back again. Seeing how the sketchbook starts to come together, because I always feel like it takes a little while to get into the flow of a sketchbook. It always takes at least a couple of pages or so, to be honest. And this is when I'm going outside a lot more, before work, after work, any kind of days off. I'm in the fields. Hello! I'm just outside soaking in all the new colours, all the fresh air, saying hi to the trees, all the little bugs and beetles, and just taking in all the really lovely colours all around. And just, yeah, this is a little trip up to Manchester for a friend's birthday. There's just some gallery sketches on that as well, and some travel drawings. This is back at the Abbey again. I'm always there. These are some Neolithic finds from the local area. And yeah, just also studies. And these are some amazing trees that we discovered on a walk. And they were just so high up above you, just felt so incredibly small. And just sitting, it felt like a little goblin just sitting in these roots of these magical trees, to be honest. But I find it really important to be outside as much as I can. Not only because I love drawing trees, but it's just nice to let those thoughts quiet down a little bit, especially drawing outside in nature. Kind of helps things soothe out a little bit. And these are some first planner paintings that I tried to do outside again. I found it really overwhelming at this point. I wasn't really too sure what I was doing, but I just wanted to try to crack out with it and get used to painting outside again. But these are some character sketches I want to do for a project in the future. I still want to try and do this project. I thought it was kind of cool, and I was just gathering around some ideas, to be honest, at that point, and just taking in all the different textures outside. So this is when I'm trying to get used to my watercolors again after a really long time of not really using them. Getting around, getting loose and fluid with it again, getting re familiar with the watercolor palette that I'll take with me to a trip to Ireland. So yeah, lots of different textures and looking at everything around and just messing around with different materials at this point. So from painting all of these summer fruits with gouache in my sketchbook, I later on put them together in a digital poster created for a monthly paint night that I'd run at work. It was really nice to kind of just see all these yummy, traditional painty textures into more of a digital print. And it came out really well, I feel. And this is in Bristol Aquarium, and I love seeing all the fish. And I don't know, I just think they are so cool. And this is when I discovered this amazing pen. Oh my god, I love it so much. This is a brush uni pen fine liner. You can get the textures in really easily. You can get the shadows in really quick. It kind of makes observational drawing a lot easier, especially when you can do it quick as well. It's really nice, especially with train journeys as well. And this is down in Brighton. Once again, using that same pen, and I just find it really smooth to use. And I want to get another one again. This one's run out, which is really sad. Again, another train journey sketch because what else are you going to do on those long journeys? These are just some little doodles. I think at this point I was feeling a little bit burnt out with art, so just taking it very chill, especially in the summer when it was really hot. Oh, so this now leads on to the Ireland trip. So this is some drawings going over to Dublin on the airplane. This is the first night in Dublin together in Lincoln's Inn, where we're just meeting each other for the first time, and they're all such wonderful people as well. And this is when we got brand new sketchbooks gifted by Sophie, and it's so lovely as well. And this is the start of the Ireland adventure. So this is in Dublin. We went on a walking tour, going to the park in the afternoon. Yeah, just getting used to each other as well. And having a size sketchbook was actually quite surprising. So I'm so used to having this teeny weeny pocket sized sketchbook for such a long time. It was quite a change to get into. It took a while as well to get in the flow of it. I really enjoyed it. And this is some evening decomp chills. We just come back to the hotels in the evenings and just having a laugh, really. So this then now leads into the beautiful rock of Cashel. This is a 12th century old ruin that just sits upon the hill. And this is probably the first time I sat outside painting the landscape plein air, and I wasn't overwhelmed with anything I was doing. I was using watercolors and Neocolor wax pastels. I was just thinking like, oh, I can actually paint outside. I wasn't overwhelmed by anything, and it was just a perfect setting to kickstart this whole new journey of painting outside again. And it was just a really lovely, refreshing feeling to have. Even exploring within the ruins, you could just feel the history and legacy of all the stones themselves. Where they had some gorgeous stone carvings, and they were just littered by layers and layers of lichen dotted around. And it was just great to absorb and witness all that history. And this is now starting the most magical day doing the Ring of Kerry tour. Starting out nice and early at Ross Castle. And this is a plein air, a session at Watervale Beach. So Sophie did a little session with us and just seeing all of these beautiful Atlantic seaweeds just dotted around all the colourful rocks. It was amazing. So I painted them in later on. And as we were painting, we saw all this influx of clouds coming towards us. So we tried to paint very, very quickly. So you can still see all the little water droplets as well, which I feel like adds a really good texture to it. And honestly, there is no wonder that this country has so much mythology. Just seeing the most dramatic, raw nature of all those rolling hills, the waterfalls, and the rich heath life. I would expect to see a giant coming around over the horizon, or a little fade dotted around in all the ferns. And at the end of his tour, we ended at Lady's View, where I saw probably the most beautiful, magical tree I have ever seen in my life. I did indeed get a bit blubbery, with Nick Drake playing in my headphones and just seeing that overwhelming beauty that my heart just longs for. It's truly magical. And an injustice that I haven't drawn that tree yet. And this will be a stop at the cliffs of Moher. It was a really hot sunny day, and it was such a beautiful scenery to take in. I found it also quite overwhelming with the amount of information to take in, but with that overwhelm, it was quite nice to be a lot more abstracted with it all to try and capture all the different layers of sediment and rock within the cliffs. And I thought it came out really well. And this is on the way over to Connemara National Park, just drawing the landscape flowing past you. And this is a 2-minute exercise where we all handled each other's sketchbooks every 2 minutes, swapping around drawing the same landscape. It was really silly, it was really fun. And this is the end of Connemara, and it was just beautiful. This is kind of when we all sat together on the side of the road, seeing all the micro brown diversity popping out. It was beautiful just seeing such a rich, heath, healthy life in all the ground. Just surrounded by beautiful people as well, is absorbing that landscape. This is kind of when we all really got into painting at this point. And doing some blobby painting or some mycena mushrooms found that day. And drawing, yeah, just drawing from the day as well. This was in the evening, that same day of just drawing everything together. It's a little note. And these are all of the wonderful people that I went to with in Ireland. They are just beautiful, fantastic people. Just made my heart sparkle so incredibly much, and they're all so lovely. And I can't wait to see them again at some point in the future. Yeah, this trip was just really incredibly inspiring. Just doing some thumbnails, some plein air painting based on photos from the trip that was on the side of the road, and just seeing all of that landscape was coming together and the bright greenery that's just everywhere. It was just fantastic. And I'm really happy with how the painting has come along as well, using all the shapes and putting them all together. So this was a landscape on the Ring of Kerry tour, and I'm really happy with how the paintings came out, to be honest. And it kind of brought through a sense of gratification that I can actually paint with watercolor again. It was really nice. It was really refreshing, and I'm really happy with how these two pieces came out, to be honest. These are just some thumbnails, getting some ideas put together, drawing some really cool swirly dragons, and this is, yeah, just taking in all of that information from that week in Ireland, just blurring it all out in the pages. And this is kind of when I promised myself to go back to the Abbey and do some painting again. Going to this island journey and just painting and being free with so many magical people just made my heart sparkle so incredibly much. It was such a freeing trip with just to be open and let loose with painting again. It kind of made me remember the joys of painting outside and feeling the love for sketchbooking again. I feel so blessed to have gone on this trip, and with Sophie, our most delightful host, also created the vlog on this trip that just captures the wonderful silliness. And here we have some studies from silkworms. They are a fantastic artist. I love their colour theory, their shape theory. Yeah, nah, just doing some ideas and getting some thumbnails down, getting some ideas put through for bigger prints or paintings, that kind of thing. Also just getting into the flow of this size sketchbook once again. And this is the start of a trip to Wales, up to the Brecon Beacons with a very special friend of mine. Again, using a Unipin brush fine liner, but this time in more of a brown tone. I really like this colour a lot more than the black. More softer. You can layer a lot of shadows as well into it. And yeah, that is just a youth hostel communal drawing. And this is just a bit of plein air on alongside the waterfall hike we went to in the Brecon Beacons. And it was just beautiful. We were just scuttling around, touching all the moss, all the different lichens, seeing all the different mushrooms. Yeah, amazing textures, amazing diversity of life, and just, yeah, it was really, really cool. It was really cool. So those were just some little drawings from coming back to the hostel later on in the evening, drawing all the little photos that we took of all the mushrooms that we found. And this is a plein air painting of the hill that was opposite the youth hostel. And it was beautiful. The colours were constantly changing, dotted around, a bit of sunshine, a bit of more hues coming through. It was really lovely. And this is the day we were travelling back, getting some matchas, visiting the oldest yew tree in the country. It was just gorgeous. Yeah, these are just some little sketches and doodles. This is just a tattoo flash sheet that's put together. And this is on the way over to London to go to Amsterdam with a very good friend of mine. It was just gorgeous. I love visiting Europe at any kind of given moment. Yeah, this is on the first day when we arrived, and drawing some landscapes and having good food, visiting in a fantastic art shop. And this is when we spent the entire day at the Rijksmuseum. We honestly went through maybe 2 floors of this fantastic, huge museum, and we'd barely even scratched the surface of the amount of fantastic art that was inside of there. It was just phenomenal. And to be fair, most of the time we were in Amsterdam, it was just wandering around all of the beautiful canals and seeing all the architecture, visiting cafes along the way, some bars in the evening. We even did a boat tour one evening because you have to be a bit touristy every now and again, you know? And this will be at the Rembrandt House Museum. It's really inspiring to see more of his etchings rather than all the paintings, because I do a lot more pen work. It was kind of cool to see how he uses his mark making. This is a bunch of doodles and sketches, going on a lovely day out to Stourhead, just touching all the lovely mosses, seeing all the autumnal colours come through. So yeah, that's a little planner right at the end of the walk around. And this is a plein air painting, and the boat reserves around the corner from us. It was rainy, it was sunny, it was bright outside. And it was really lovely just messing around materials at that point and seeing some cool mushrooms. This is some thumbnail sketches for Folktale Week that I was going to plan on doing. I never really followed through with those ideas, but I did try and go onto a larger piece, which you see on the right. So I used a Liquitex art acrylic ink for that piece. I found it a lot more watery than other inks I've used in the past. So these are some drawings from museums in London, sketching around, and this is a spread from the V&A Museum that I really, really like. Looking at all the medieval stained glass and all the little details. I'm really happy with how that piece came out. Yeah, messing around with ink at that point, doing some Christmas presents. Yeah, filling out the last pages of my sketchbook. I'm really proud of this sketchbook and the journey that has gone through with it, to feel reconnected in a new way that I had once forgotten. Having a tendonitis sprain injury in my wrists and getting past that whole point of not being able to create anymore, and going to the Ireland trip just really let me lean into the love for creating art once again and living alongside with it. I think it's really special, and I'm really, really happy just to see where it's gone, and I'm really excited to see where it goes next. I am so thankful for it, honestly. And this is the start of my brand new pocket-sized sketchbook, this time with a cork cover. So I got this sketchbook when I went to Amsterdam to that amazing art shop. And yeah, once again, going through it. So what I really love to do is draw my desk and my area that I work at and spend my most time at. It was really lovely to see a difference in mark making, seeing familiarities of different prints that have lasted over the year. And yeah, it was really nice to just kind of see a newfound way that I use mark making and observational skills, and just seeing that space develop and change. It was a really lovely little reflection, you know? And yeah, just testing materials again because this paper is slightly different. And these are with my acrylic inks I adore with all my heart. Yeah, painting some seaweeds there. And yeah, some more observational drawings, really getting in the flow of a brand new sketchbook again. Doing some studies, some more ink paintings. This is a very lovely trip to a cafe with my friend Lois, and then going to the pub in the evening, seeing friends over the Christmas period. Yeah, just easing into the winter days. And these are some beautiful paints that my friend Moore created for me, all from the rocks that we found in Wales together. And they are just the most magical thing I could have been gifted for paint wise.
Geology foraging is to be the new shit.
They're just so beautiful and they're so smooth. The texture feels really cool. The colors are so vibrant. And it feels so human to be painting with something that's from a landscape itself. And I can't wait to do a piece bigger with them in the future. And they're just amazing. I can't wait to do more of them. I need some ideas coming together for a zine I want to do in the future. And this is a depiction of a very heated moment in the pub together, playing some cards next to the fire. It was really cozy, especially after going on this walk. And this is a plein air painting trying to depict the colder, crisp January air to it. Seeing the colours come through and the clouds, and just feeling that nip and cold, really targeting your cheeks and fingers. I'm really happy with how it came out. And that would be the end of my pocket sized sketchbook so far. But this time I have an envelope in the back, so I'm not going to lose any piece of paper that I find along the way. A little pocket of memories just in the back. And these are all of my sketchbooks from the year. I feel so happy how they are, to be honest, to feel safe and comfy again within drawing in a sketchbook. It's so freeing. I would always recommend drawing in a sketchbook. You can never go wrong with it. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Hi. So, before I lose you, I wanted to say another big thank you for joining me on this sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did videoing and editing it all together. I hope you don't mind the voiceover. That's the first time I've done a voiceover, so I hope that weren't too annoying for you. But I wanted to say another big sparkly thank you for joining me on this journey with the help of a little mousy friend. He's just so polite. He's just so polite. Because this is my first time filming outside as well, so I'm a little bit nervous, but that's okay. We've got the trees, all the birds are flying around everywhere. It's a bit muddy. All the flowers are coming out. It's February now, so we've got some daffodils about to bloom over there. We've got some snowdrops over there, some crocuses around the corner. Lovely, honestly. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining me on this sketchbook tour. I really enjoyed making it. I love editing, I love sketchbooking. It all comes together really well. And this is the start of a brand new journey that I want to go on to, because I want to create art full time. That's my dream. That's what I want to do with my life. I just want to create and live with my art all the time. That's what I want to do. And I'm really excited to see where it comes along. And sharing this sketchbook video with you from one of my sketchbooks from last year is really special, because that was really the year where I finally felt connected within who I am as a creator and an artist and what I like to create. It took a very long time to get back into creating art just for me, going past strain injuries on my wrists and not being able to draw for like a year or more. It took a really long time, and I'm really, really, really happy with how this development has gone on to from the past year or so. And I'm really, really, really excited to see where it goes next. So, if you want to join me on this lovely adventure, I'm gonna start a picture room. I'm gonna start maybe a Ko-fi. I'm gonna launch my shop again because I used to have a shop in 2022, 2021, but I had to stop it because of uni being in the way and workload and health issues and all that rubbish. But I'm gonna have lots of prints, some stickers, some zines, all for your peepers to feast onto, so you can have something on your wall as a gift for yourself, anything really. And yeah, I'm gonna start Patreon as well, which I'm really excited about. I'm a bit daunted by it, I've got to be honest, but I'm excited as well. So I'm gonna do a snail mail monthly postcard club coming up. I'm gonna start off slow for the moment, but then slowly but surely I'm gonna build up into that postcard club. So if you fancy it, let me know. Please join on that lovely little community as we go sketchbooking outside, drawing roundabout, saying hi to the trees and everything. Yeah, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So thank you once again for joining me on this. Um, I think sketchbooking is really important. I adore sketchbooking with all of my heart. I think everyone should have a sketchbook. It's just lovely to have a space for yourself in a physical book. It can be drawing, it can be painting, it can be scrapbooking, it can be journaling, it can be anything you desire. That's the joy of a sketchbook. You don't have to draw. You don't have to do anything to conform to anyone else or what you want to do in your journey. And it's just such a lovely space to have for yourself. And yeah, I think everyone should do it. I think everyone should do it, really. So maybe this is the start for you to also go on a journey with as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out, and I hope you enjoyed. And I hope to catch you soon as well. Um, you got a question at you. Yeah, he's got a question for you. Okay, I'll catch you later. Thank you. Thanks. Bye. Let's see. Ooh.